Hey, friendo, Steve here.
Hey, Larson.
And welcome back to Steve and Larson's Pro Wrestling Podcast, ruining pro wrestling podcasting since 2014. The end of the Death Riders era is upon us. This is our AEW All In Texas review. Hangman Adam Page, once again, is your AEW World Champion. And we also did a watch-along for the longest pay-per-view in, like, I don't know, modern pro wrestling history. I don't know. There might be some weird, I don't know.
Yeah.
Other pay-per-view that might have been longer. But in terms of WWE shows, this ended up eclipsing WrestleMania 35, which I think had the record for previously for the longest pay-per-view. This went right around 6 hours.
Yeah.
And culminated in a terrific death match, Texas death match between Hangman Adam Page and Jon Moxley, echoing, of course, the Cody win over Roman Reigns last year, where it was a wildly overbooked match and finish, and ultimately, former blood feud rival Swerve Strickland gave Hangman Adam Page the final help he needed to overcome Jon Moxley and win the match with a buckshot lariat on a bed of nails.
Yeah.
And secure himself the briefcase he opened it and held high and proud. The AEW World Title at All In.
Yeah. I know people are going to try to make comparisons, as you mentioned, to the WrestleMania 40 main event. Yeah, there's similarities. You have this overpowered group that's dominating their respective promotions, Bloodline, WB. You had Death Riders and AEW. You have two challengers who were in their own ways are finishing their stories. Cody's was just winning the title. Hangman was finding himself, who Hangman Adam Page really is.
Finding peace
with the last 2 years. And, it's a subjective thing. The catharsis of seeing Page get that briefcase and getting it open, holding that title, and being on verge of tears the entire time, it got me. It's an emotional moment, and that's no slight. I understand why Cody wanted to win the title. It meant a lot to him, But, personally for me, to see Hangman's journey from day one of AEW to today has been, it's the character arc I've been most invested in wrestling over the last 5-6 years. And hats off to Hangman Adam Page through ups and downs. There was the CM Punk stuff. His first title reign, largely unspectacular. He's managed to find ways to evolve his character and add dimension to his character. And it's been wildly interesting. And to see it all culminate in a moment that was at times extremely violent, at times kind of goofy, with Darby shooting the video up on Everest and then rappelling down from the roof of the stadium. We had Danielson come back with a Blue Panther mask on to help out. And that moment where Swerve comes down and hits the Young Bucks with the length of chain that Hangman left in the locker room on Collision. And you have the moment where Page sees him and he's like, oh shit, what's going to happen here? And Swerve didn't say a word. He just slid the chain into the ring, took a step back, buckshot on the bed of nails, and then Hangman choking out Mox with that chain like he did when he beat him the first time at Texas Death. And hats off to Mox. We have been critical plenty of Mox's championship reign. It was like he was saving it all up for selling that last moment, because he was flailing out there like a fish that just got pulled up from the ocean and got dropped on deck. And selling the desperation, not just, obviously he's getting choked out, he's getting suffocated. That's horrible. But the desperation with which he is trying to find a way out of this situation so his reign of terror can continue, and realizing this is it, and then tapping out.
I'm glad that you mentioned two things here. Well, three things. The goofiness of the thing that I really appreciate about AEW is, and it could be seen as a detriment to a degree, where wrestlers who have a certain amount of stroke are able to indulge in some cornier sentimentality Danielson showing up in an oversized black hoodie, looking like the dad he is, and in a goofy ass Blue Panther mask. And he takes it right off after he delivers the knee plus or whatever
to Yuta, yeah.
And you see him, Darby doing the cheesy Matt Chat video, which you and I had said that was going to happen, and him rappelling oh so slowly down.
Safely, I want to say I would assume safely because you
don't want to mess with that.
Long ways up.
Moments that you look at, and they're not the most dramatic. It got the crowd huge, which is all that matters.
Yeah.
Not the most dramatic moments, but when it mattered. Jon Moxley selling being on the verge of death and knowing it. Him being hung by that chain and violently, I mean, not
thrashing
selling
around. Yeah.
Violently just thrashing around like an animal. And finally tapping out and seeing that visual after all this time and everything that we've all been through with the Death Riders. And I appreciate that over the past 6 months or so, the Death Riders have simply evolved into a normal pro wrestling heel group and not some, faction with a nebulous goal targeting mid-carders. But lately they have actually been nailing them as simply big bads.
Yeah.
And so watching Mox thrash around is what you need to see, is the goal of pro wrestling. This is what we all want to see after being on this journey, is him getting his comeuppance. Mm-hmm. That's what you want from your heel. And doing so in a way that makes this super tough guy just come down to earth. That's the good stuff.
Yep.
And so you got the corny shit that the wrestlers love and the fans get into, and it sort of lacks the cinema aspect of it. But then Mox saves the moment, and he's thrashing around, and he taps out, and then Hangman continues saving the moment, and absolutely they nailed the finish, so to speak. They nailed the finish. They absolutely stuck the landing perfectly.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can't say enough good things about the finish of this match, about the match itself. And what you said also, there have been two prolonged stretches of Hangman and AEW, everything leading up to his title win, and then everything when he began this, on edge. Basically, it started with the feud with Swerve, where Hangman got into a feud with Swerve, and he was on edge and stuff. And yes, the CM Punk stuff derailed it. And I'm not saying that that's about CM Punk. If Hangman came out there and derailed the promo that they had agreed on, that's on him. But storyline-wise, they didn't know what to do with him after he won the title. I don't know if they'll know what to do with him after this one. But the bottom line is we got two awesome stories that were prolonged, that saw character development, the likes of which I have never seen in pro wrestling in the 30 years that we've been watching. Mm-hmm. I've never seen such a prolonged evolution of a character that felt so relatable and so real and so genuine and so poetic than we've seen with Hangman Adam Page. It hasn't happened. You can't point out an example. This was awesome stuff. Where he goes from here, I'm sure we'll talk about. But it was a really, really spectacularly built story for Hangman Adam Page, going back to the origins of his Swerve feud.
Yeah. And the goofy stuff, the thing about it, it's the moment. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It doesn't become the sole focus. You get, like, literally the video of Darby on the Tron was like, Mox, I'm here to take everything from you. And then you get Danielson doing his stuff, and then you get Darby rappelling from the roof of the stadium. And as soon as he's down in the ring, bang, he's right to the action,
Yeah.
And you get that satisfying moment with Swerve and Hangman at the end there.
No less goofy, by the way, than the Undertaker showing up and doling some shit out to The Rock.
Absolutely.
I love that shit. I think it's great. But for a finish like this, and again, not unlike Cody putting that extra stank on that last Crossroads with Roman, but in this situation, I appreciate the nature of how this actual match concluded, because Mox had to make the decision. let me step back. Roman had to make the decision on who to use the chair with, and I thought that was a amazing moment
great.
too.
That was great.
So I'll give kudos to that as well.
Absolutely.
But to see Mox have to make that choice to tap out because he was going to die, and guess what? He ain't so tough after all.
Nope. And the whole thing, he's questioning the grit of Hangman. Do you have what it takes?
Yeah.
To beat me?
And he got his answer, and he tapped out. And he's got nothing. I mean, it was a beautifully violent gore fest of a match.
Yeah.
Not as violent as Swerve and Hangman. I don't think you could match that without going to old school CZW or
you'd be going overboard in a lot of respects. Yeah, potentially going overboard. I should say.
And you wouldn't want to. But a spectacularly violent match, and we have ourselves a new AEW World Champion. On top of that, 2 immediate title contenders. We could have seen in a tag match. You and I were both surprised by the outcome of this. Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland won their match against the Young Bucks, who are now stripped of their EVP titles, in taking the spectacle away from the main event. The tag match between Swerve, Ospreay, and Young Bucks might be match of the night for me. Just phenomenal show.
In terms of pure wrestling, yeah.
Yes.
I was wondering going into this show if the idea was going to be. Let me backtrack a little bit. If you go back to, I don't remember what pay-per-view it was, but you remember that match where it was Jay White, Hangman, I think Orange Cassidy, and Mox for the title. That 4-way match.
Yeah.
And the whole idea is, well, AEW can't get the shit together. They can't work together as a cohesive unit to oust Death Riders from the top of the company. That was the story of this show. Ops beat the Death Riders in the opening bout. They wrote Samoa Joe and therefore the rest of the Ops out after Claudio stomped the chair on his neck. You had Swerve and Ospreay beating the Young Bucks. Again, unity. And then ultimately at the end, everybody out there ringside to help Hangman beat Mox.
Yeah.
And I thought they might kind of do a bit of a Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi all over the course of the show where the Ops, they lose their titles. Oh shit, things looking bad.
Incidentally, the pay-per-view was the length of 3 Star Wars movies.
They pretty much. We could have watched a marathon on TBS,
TNT.
whatever it was.
Yeah, TBS,
TNT.
whatever, yeah.
If Ospreay and Swerve had lost the Young Bucks, there had been obviously dissension between the two of them. How would that affected the main event? If going into the main event, it felt like the odds were all against Hangman, yet he overcame. I thought they might have went that route. They didn't. They told a story they've been telling for a while. If AEW gets their shit together, put their egos aside, work as a collective unit to get rid of Death Riders, it can be done, and it was accomplished tonight.
It's their big stadium show for the year. What do they say? 3rd largest American gate. I don't know.
Maybe
they said something
maybe
like that.
I think it's the largest crowd for a non-WWE show ever in the United States. That's not true.
It was the largest United
Georgia
States
Dome
show.
had 68,000.
I think it was the largest show for an AEW United States show.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Okay,
true.
okay, that's what they said.
But I thought I saw some stat where it was like the largest something other than non-WWE thing. But
that could be right.
But I mean, there was 68,000 at the Georgia Dome that day. So
yeah, right, exactly. But given that it was a stadium show, it's basically their WrestleMania at this point.
Yeah.
It was with exception, but a pretty face-heavy show. Out of the 3 billed main events, 2 out of 3 were face wins. Tony Storm and Hangman Adam Page. Okada did beat Kenny Omega in an overbooked finish match as well. Don Callis inserting himself in that quite a bit after it looked like Kenny might have had that one. I don't consider the Hurt Syndicate bad guys, but some people might. They won their match. I don't consider Athena a bad guy, but some people might, given her, the character. But she won the Casino Gauntlet. You got Swerve and Strickland. You got the shocker. Talk about the shocker of the night. Dustin Rhodes won the TNT title after an unfortunate series of events. It was reported, I think by Tony Khan, had said that
he tweeted about it,
unfortunately Adam Cole, due to medical condition of some sort, was unable to compete tonight. Adam Cole came out in advance of what was then booked into a fatal 4-way match for the TNT title. he came out to vacate the title, tears coming down his face. And he said, basically something medically has happened that he doesn't want to talk about retirement because he doesn't want to think about that right now. But the subtext is that's a possibility. He just wrestled on Thursday at Collision.
Yeah.
I saw one tweet, again, take this with such a grain of salt. But, somebody had said, oh, maybe he tweaked somebody said it looked like he might have tweaked his ankle there. Obviously, he had issues with that, which kept him out for a while. So who knows? I'm sure we'll find out in the coming days and weeks, most likely, what the actual situation is or how long we can expect him out, or if he indeed does have to retire. Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly were both there with tears in their eyes. But they're in Texas. Dustin Rhodes got the win in his home state, I think. Yeah, he's from Texas.
Yeah, he's from Austin.
Yeah. And he got the win. He got the TNT title. Surprising. Figured it'd be Kyle Fletcher.
Yeah, I thought so too. It was tough hearing Adam Cole. Wish the absolute best for him. Just seems like a delightful person.
The best, yeah.
And you had the opportunity to meet him a few years back. Wish the absolute best, whatever's going on. Wish him a speedy recuperation. Health and happiness is foremost. Always.
Yeah, 1,000%. Just the loveliest fellow, one of the nicest wrestlers, maybe the nicest wrestler I've ever met. Seems like the lovely, whenever we used to rate him on Twitch streams, he was so overwhelmingly gracious every single time.
Yep.
I've heard nothing but amazing things about Adam Cole.
Same.
And yeah, he deserves health, happiness, and the opportunity to go out on his own terms.
Yeah.
And so hopefully he'll be able to do that. We're pulling for him. Just a great guy. But, beyond that, the Ops also won theirs against the Death Riders. And then this is a wrinkle in the Hangman Adam Page title run here. MJF won the contract to cash in a title shot by winning the Casino Gauntlet. So that could be, something that we're keeping an eye on over the next, I don't even know, I guess until the next Casino Gauntlet. I don't know if there's a
it's kind of happened whenever. It's not like it's a regularly scheduled thing,
like Money in the Bank has a expiration date.
Yeah.
I'm assuming this does.
I would think so, but I don't know for sure.
I don't know. We should ask Tony that in the media thing.
I mean, you'd guess that Ospreay would be like, hey, I helped you out here. I had your back. Can I get a title shot at Forbidden Door in England? So I can wrestle for the championship in front of my family,
Yeah.
And I would imagine that would be the match there.
You would think so, yeah.
I would not be surprised if Swerve says, hey, I helped you out. Let me get a shot at that title. Even Darby. Although Darby has to get through Mox first. He's going to have a program with Mox. I assume Mox is going to take some time off. Maybe he won't. Maybe he'll show up Wednesday on Dynamite.
That's a very Mox thing to do.
It is.
Yeah.
But you'd think Darby would have to get through a program with Mox before challenging for the title because he's got to prove to Mox that he's worthy of being a champion.
Yeah.
So already just looking at the lay of the land, it looks like there's good stuff for Hangman as champion, at least in the near future.
The characters that have been built around him and the history that they have built over the past year, 2 years or whatever, are incredibly strong. You also have other people that might not have a ton of history with him, but are really strong contenders. Kazuchika Okada, Kyle Fletcher. There are some very strong contenders out there across both the good guy and bad guy spectrum. And that's the thing that I think we both really appreciate about AEW over the past 6 months or so, over the past, in 2025. They've done such a terrific job of building it, Takeshita as well. They've done such a great job of building characters with distinct motivations and personalities. And to see them clash with Hangman Adam Page and the other characters, vying for this title.
Yeah.
And their other title scenes have kind of settled into a thing. I think especially now that Okada has the unified title, we might see that division turn into a certain thing kind of in his image, perhaps. The TNT title can turn into a certain thing on its own, too. I think that's sort of ideal for the different divisions. So it's not just randos just running all through the different divisions and stuff like it used to be.
Yeah. Yeah, and I appreciate in AEW that so many of the characters are, not all of them, but so many of them are very much grounded.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's the spectacle of pro wrestling, and that involves in the presentation and whatnot. And people can carry themselves as larger than life presences. You know, there's a lot of people in AEW got an immense amount of charisma. And based on that, they come off as larger than life. They don't need a huge gimmick. You know, when you got characters like Swerve, like Hangman, like Osprey, all very grounded characters.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I definitely agree with that. Before we continue on with our All In recap, we're going to talk about the beginning of the show till the end of the show. We have a sponsor for the show today. Let's go ahead and talk about them.
Let's do it. This episode of Steve and Larson's Pro Wrestling Podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. You know, Steve, we're pretty fortunate. We don't have to go into an office for work anymore. I'm not necessarily talking about when we had an office.
Sounds
Imagine
like
we
it
did
may
this
be.
watch along 6 hours sitting next to each other in that office.
You know,
That'd be-
man, part of me was going to invite you over here and we do it in person for the watch along. Imagine being here next to me on my couch for 6 hours.
Yeah. Anyways, I can remember times in my life when I'd wake up in the morning and absolutely dread going to work. It's a terrible feeling.
Yeah, it is. Workplace stress is now one of the top causes of declining mental health, with 61% of the workforce dealing with higher than normal levels of stress. And while taking a vacation can be a nice reprieve from the stresses of the workplace, it's not a long-term solution. Therapy can help you navigate whatever challenges the workday or any day can bring.
And back in my mid-20s, I was dealing with some pretty severe anxiety, and it got so bad that it held me back from doing much of anything, including going to work. Eventually, I realized that I had to go to therapy, and therapy allowed me to learn the tools I needed to better cope with my anxiety and help me move forward in my life.
And with over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 5 million people globally. BetterHelp is also making therapy far more convenient. You can join a session with a therapist with a click of a button, so you can fit therapy into your busy schedule. And you can switch therapists at any time.
As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. So unwind from work with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/raw. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/raw.
So the show kicked off with the trios titles match. However, you watched the pre-show
I watched part of the pre-show.
specifically because you're a huge fan of the Costco guys and you wanted to see them bring the boom.
The boom.
Did they bring the boom, Larson?
Boom. Yeah, they got the win.
Okay. But
Yeah.
specifically, did they bring the boom?
I believe AJ hit a power boom.
Because I feel like bringing the boom is like an exclusive thing from like winning a match.
Yeah.
I don't know
think
if
you
they
could
could
really
bring a boom in a loss,
Really
though.
bring the boom unless you win. If you lose, you try to bring the boom.
More of a doom you're bringing.
Yeah, it seems more of a doom. But you can't really. It's not emphatic if you lost. Boom. You know?
Maybe one is required for the other. I don't know.
I think so. And then FTR stole a win from the Outrunners.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. But the actual 6-hour card kicked off with trios action. Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, and Gabe Kidd, who might be an official member of the Death Riders. You think he would be at this point.
Well, we don't know what the fate of the Death Riders is going to be, anyways.
Yeah. Wasn't there a
titles
time when
with-
Matt Cameron wasn't like an actual member of Pearl Jam, but he was with them for like the longest time?
Oh, like he was kind of the fill-in, and then just became the permanent fill-in, and then all right, you remember? I don't know, maybe.
I think I remember that being a thing. In any event, he's not with the band anymore. And Samoa Joe's not with the Ops anymore, at least for a little while, because the Ops got the win here over Claudio, Wheeler, and Gabe. But then right afterwards, let's see, the finish was Shibata hitting a palm strike on Gabe Kidd. Joe tags in. They trade shots. Kidd bites Joe, who hits a power slam for 2. Death Riders stomp out Joe. Wheeler tags in. They go for a fastball special. Hobbs splashes Claudio, and Shibata boots Wheeler into a muscle buster, a nasty one by Joe. He covers, the Ops get the win, but then right afterwards, Death Riders attack the Ops. They hit a neutralizer and a pile driver to Joe and Shibata. Wheeler hits Hobbs with a chair, and then they do the old Pillmanizing to Joe.
Yeah.
And then they have to wheel him away, and they really made a big to-do about this. So it seems like Joe's going to be going on vacation, or maybe he's got an expiring contract. Is it going to?
Well, maybe he's still a champion, and maybe he's got he's involved in Hollywood projects, so maybe he's off to shoot something. I don't know. I mean, I just felt like more immediately it was like, oh, Joe and the Ops can't help Hangman at the end of the show.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So at least short term, that's kind of, I think, the thought. Next up, we had the men's casino gauntlet match. MJF, Mark Briscoe. Much was made about them being the first two participants. And, of course, that dynamic played into the finish. Really fun match. We had Juice Robinson return.
Yeah.
It was good to see him back.
We got to see a little bit with the former tag team partners, the Acclaimed.
Yeah.
Bones was laid out on the because Bones is the match. He was laid out at sort of at the bottom of the ramp, and Caster comes out, who's really over thanks to his really goofy chant, and so he starts egging on the people for the chant. Let's go, Max! You're the best wrestler alive. And then he does it right in Bones' face, and Bones just looks at him and says, "What the fuck?" And then Caster goes on, and but in any event,
the Guns came back too.
The Guns came back. That's right. The Guns came back to help out Juice, not for the actual. They came back to help him in the match, but they didn't come into the match.
They weren't in the match itself, no.
Yeah, but in the end, I like this finish here. So it was Roderick Strong and Mark Briscoe. Roderick blocks a J Driller attempt, hits a gut buster, but Mark pops up and hits a J Driller. MJF rolls right in, throws Mark out, steals the J Driller win by pinning Roderick Strong for 3. So MJF now has your contract.
Yep. As expected. And then it was time for the TNT 4-way match. Preceding that, as we mentioned, Adam Cole comes to the ring. Tears in his eyes already. And he says, it's really hard to put into words, but I wanted to say sorry I let everyone down. I have some health issues that not only won't allow me to defend this, but I'm going to be gone a while. I don't want to think about retiring because I'm not in the right headspace, but I had to come out. If this is it, indeed say goodbye. And so he says, since I was 9, I dreamt of being a pro wrestler, and all of you made that dream come true. You supported me all over the world. It means so much to me. With my highest moments and my lowest, all of you have been so supportive, and I will love you forever. Thank you. I don't want to take up more of your time because we have the best damn pay-per-view in wrestling tonight. For me and everyone at AEW, thank you all for making AEW so special, and thank you for changing my life. I'll love you always. And so Roddy was still ringside from the gauntlet match. Kyle's out there. They get in the ring. They hug Adam. Super emotional. And, again, just wish the absolute best for Adam Cole.
Yeah, no, same. Just I hope the guy gets to go out on his own terms, and this is not as serious as he's making it out to be. But our hearts go out to the guy.
Absolutely.
So that brings out Daniel Garcia first for the match. Sammy Guevara, Kyle Fletcher, and Dustin Rhodes, all in this fatal 4-way. This is fun enough stuff. This is a match where everybody was used for the Casino Gauntlet that wasn't on the card already. These guys, I think this was their third match.
Oh, Sammy and Dustin is their third match. Yeah, in the last 24 hours. 'Cause they had the match at Supercard of Honor. They both wrestled in the kickoff show, and then they were both in this one.
Yeah. By the way, a little bit of news here. Seth Rollins might have busted up his knee again.
Yeah, it definitely looks like he's hurt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Boy, that's sad if true.
That sucks.
We'll get more on that on the Monday show.
Yeah.
The finish to this just sort of came out of nowhere. We had Sammy going up top like he always does, but gets kneed on the frog splash. Garcia hits a dragon tamer on Sammy. Fletcher drags Garcia out, hits an apron bomb. He dumps Sammy on the apron as well. Get a head kick to Dustin in the corner. Fletcher hits another running boot. Sammy hits a flying cutter to take out Fletcher. Pile driver on Sammy. Dustin rolls up Danny for a 2. Garcia rolls through, locks in a dragon tamer on Dustin, but Dustin gets a roll up out of nowhere, and he gets 3.
Yeah.
And he was crying because he's in
emotional
Texas and he won the title.
And I think that's his first singles title in a long time too.
They said that it's his only AEW branded
Yeah.
title.
Yeah. Yeah.
because he's got the Ring of Honor titles. But yeah, this is his first AEW title.
Yeah. But I mean, like, obviously he was as Goldust Intercontinental Champion in WWF numerous times, and I don't know if, in the years since he left WWF, if he had won anything elsewhere.
Yeah,
in terms of championships, singles championships specifically.
yeah.
I don't know, but obviously an emotional moment for Dustin. So, next up we had the tag match. Young Bucks putting their EVP titles on the line against Swerve and Will Ospreay. So if the Young Bucks had won, of course, Swerve and Ospreay would be unable to challenge for the World Championship for a whole year.
Some of the sequences in this match, I got to go back and watch this again because this might be the new contender for match of the year for me.
It's really good. That sequence, not the finish, but kind of in the middle when things really started, kicking up a notch in terms of the in-ring action, was wild.
It was so well done.
I don't know how to describe it. Just go watch it.
Just go watch it. I did see somebody on Twitter said something like, I've never seen a sequence like this ever in wrestling. And yeah, dude, this was awesome. This was absolutely phenomenal stuff. Yeah, I mean, hard to describe all this stuff. There was the big dramatic moment was Ospreay accidentally hitting Swerve with a hidden blade. But after that, Ospreay finds himself tied up in the ropes, and the Young Bucks are going to town with the super kicks as they do.
Yep.
And then they look over and they see Swerve, and he's just crawling on hands and knees to get in between them and Ospreay. And they just start lighting him up with super kicks, but it charges him up, and he goes to town. It was a really, really wonderful. They're really starting to nail the drama, and it all starts with the character. It
does. It's the characters are the foundation of everything.
Yeah.
He's Swerve's eating all those super kicks. He's getting fired up. He catches an EVP trigger, and then Ospreay and Swerve hit their own Meltzer driver. Get a 2 there. So Ospreay hits Matt with a hidden blade. Covers. Nick pushes Swerve into Ospreay to break up the pin. And then Swerve hits Nick with a stomp to the floor. Swerve tags in. They hit a combo hidden blade house call to get the win. There was a great sequence earlier on where it was a Swerve stomp Stormbreaker combo. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was. The Young Bucks also probably there's some good entrances. Theirs was hilarious. It was
pretty funny.
They sent somebody out to give the Justin Roberts a scroll so he can read, and they did the old Revolutionary War type.
Well, it was the Washington crossing the Potomac.
Potomac, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they had an old boat of them, they're going down it was good. It was really, really clever stuff. The match was absolutely killer. Might be my match of the year. Yeah.
It was so good.
I even appreciate, dude, even since their return and their alliance with the Death Riders, I don't know. It's given them a little pep. They've given them some direction. And it's like, I appreciate them a lot more now.
Yeah. And then we had the Women's Casino Gauntlet. We had Chris Statlander and Megan Bayne start out the match. We had some returns here. We had some surprise entrants as well. Harley Cameron came back.
Yeah.
Shuri was in the match.
Alex Windsor.
Yes, Alex Windsor. And then Athena was in it, and she got the win.
This was a killer finish. So Thunder Rosa, who had just amazing gear.
Yeah.
And Mina are in the ring. Mina hits an elbow and an avalanche sling blade. Thunder Rosa responds with some kicks, but misses an enziguri roundhouse by Mina. She hits a back fist, and she starts to go for the pin, but Athena is up top. She hits the Eclipse, gets the cover on Mina and the win. So she has the contract. And given that we've already seen her and Mercedes, although I guess it's possible she can cash the contract in on the TBS title, maybe. I don't know.
I thought they specified
just for the world
title.
That makes sense. But a feud with her and Tony,
fantastic.
Awesome. Yeah.
Any way that we can get Athena on AEW television? Heck yeah.
She beat Thunder Rosa last night at Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Look, plenty of Ring of Honor people show up on AEW. It'd be nice if she dropped it because I think that'd be more of a, you know.
It'd be interesting though if Tony's had the title for, in this particular reign, a good amount of time. What, since she won it at Grand Slam Australia earlier this year?
Yeah.
So 5 months, I think it's been. And having Athena walk in carrying that Ring of Honor title for what, 900 days, however long she's had it.
Yeah. They should just have her vacate the thing. Like if she cashes in on Tony, wins it.
Well, if she wins, yeah. But if I like the idea of her coming up to Tony and being like, I'm the top champion here.
Oh yeah.
In under the AEW umbrella, because I've had this for almost 1,000 days or however long it's been.
The thing that I'm looking forward to most is Athena is so, and Mercedes isn't really this. Mercedes has the thing that she does. Athena's funny as hell. Athena's legitimately a hilarious person.
Mm-hmm.
And so the comedy that her and Tony can come up with, mixed with what's going to be phenomenal wrestling,
yeah,
I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, me too. Which gets us later on to the Women's Championship match. But first, we get the tag match. Jet Speed versus Hurt Syndicate versus Patriarchy. FTR was ringside on commentary. The only critique I have of this match, it was probably about 7 minutes too long. If this had been a 10 to 12 minute bout, we hit all the story beats. Good. Entertaining match. You got two teams taking on Hurt Syndicate. It makes sense while, they got to be on the back foot a little bit more,
Yeah, this was 18 minutes and 40 seconds. And
it was
felt
nearly
like,
19 minutes, yeah.
It felt like it was 25. Like,
yeah.
Here's the thing. Jet Speed, I feel like to make the most of what they do, you probably need another cruiserweight team, like a smaller team. A faster team, I should say that. And you got a lot of different styles going on here.
Mm-hmm.
You got Christian and Nick Wayne, two different types of wrestlers in that team.
Yeah.
You got, the wrestling and powerhouse of the Hurt Syndicate. And then you got these super fast guys. And didn't really mesh. There was cool bits. There were cool parts. There were cool dudes throwing people over on other people and stuff like that. There was cool stuff. But this was long, and it didn't need to be this long.
Mm-mm.
So, yeah, the match itself was fine, but this could have been enhanced by being shorter.
Yeah, absolutely. This was 10 to 12 minutes, so it would have been a lot of fun.
Because
we're, at about the 10 to 12 minute spot, we're like, all right, Hurt Syndicate should be winning this about now.
Yeah.
I mean, and there's another 6 minutes till we get to that point. So anyways, finish of this sees, we get Kevin Knight and Speedball doing some stereo dives. And then ringside, Lashley shoves Christian into FTR. And then he shoves them as Christian. And Lashley goes for a spear, but Christian leapfrogs it. And Cage is shoved into FTR on the apron because FTR gets on the apron to interfere. You get involved, talk some shit. And then Lashley hits Christian with a spear to get the win. After the match, though, FTR gets in the ring. Nick Wayne's like, no, stops him. Trying to protect Christian. And then instead, Nick Wayne hits Christian with the kill switch. His mom's laughing, he's laughing. Kip seems pretty happy about it. And so they get some chairs to do a concerto when you think you know him.
You think you know me. Yeah, Nick Wayne is on the verge. He's about to do it. He's laughing maniacally. And then
on this day
comes out. But does he sprint directly to help his old friend?
No, he's got Spike. He turns to his left to preen to the audience first. He doesn't do the full thing that he does.
He does the running thing. He does his legs.
Yeah, does that. The one side of the stage, but he's like, oh, I got to go help Christian. So then he runs to the ring. He's got Spike. He fends off everybody else. And so it's just him and Christian in the ring. And so he has a mic in his back pocket. And so Christian's getting up, and so Cope puts Spike down. He pulls the mic up. He gets right in Christian's face and goes, "Go find yourself."
Oh. It's kind of like when Christian said, "Go fuck yourself," but way less cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go find yourself.
Now what he should have said is go fuck yourself, then go find yourself.
I think go fuck yourself would have been good. That'd been fine. You
Maybe
know what
Christian
he should
would
have
have
done?
respected him for
You know
doing
what actually would have been better? If he said, go fuck yourself, then gave him a hug and left. Mixed signals.
Yeah. Yeah.
This guy just saved me. Then he said, go fuck myself. But then he hugged me.
Yeah.
It's love, hate.
Yeah.
Go find myself. Condescending prick. I know who
Yeah,
I am.
no. So Cope leaves. And Christian grabs Spike to kind of help him up.
Yeah.
So then we got Toni Storm versus Mercedes Moné for the AEW Women's Championship. Another really good match.
Yeah, this was awesome. This was really, really, really good stuff, including Tony hitting 3 back-to-back Storm Zeros
yeah.
on Mercedes, and Mercedes kicking out of that. Tony kicked out of Moneymaker. Yeah, this was just really, really, really good stuff. I'd recommend going to check it out.
Yep.
In the end, it took a Storm Zero from the middle rope, a super Storm Zero, to get the win. And right before, she planted a big old kiss, big old smooch on Mercedes's lips. And then there was one great part too when I missed this initially, and then I saw people talking about it in chat, so I had to go back and watch it on Twitter. But when Mercedes had Tony ready for a tombstone, and Tony reversed it into a tombstone position of her own, and she started like biting her crotch.
Yeah. Yeah, because earlier Mercedes bit Tony on the arm to escape a crossface.
Yeah, but they had like a wide shot of it, so it's like, is she biting her crotch?
Yeah, I noticed that. When
it was great. Yeah, it was really awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty great. Toni Storm's awesome.
She is.
After that, we had Okada, Omega to crown the first unified champion. Like, the expectations for a match between these two, through the roof.
Oh, yeah, big time.
And, it's been 8 years? 7-8 years since their classic series of matches in New Japan.
When was their 4th match? Was it 2018? Probably 2018, right?
Yeah, maybe.
So they haven't wrestled since then.
I guess not. Wow. Well, they had footage of Kenny wrestling Okada when Okada had the pants. And that was after he...
At the latest, it would have been 2019 then, because I don't think they've wrestled
Okada.
since pandemic. Well, yeah, no. They haven't wrestled since AEW, so
yeah. So
it would have been early 2019, maybe.
No, because Wrestle Kingdom 2019 was Kenny's last date with New
Japan.
Japan.
Yeah. So it was probably late 2018, yeah.
Yeah, because it was Balloon Okada because he had the red pants.
Yeah.
So maybe, I don't know, tag match, G1, I don't know. Anyways, this match was still really, really good.
They still know how to go.
They still know how to go. Was it up to the same level as their matches 7-8 years ago? No.
Kenny's not the same wrestler.
No, he's not. He's based on his style he's worked throughout his career, coming off a bout of diverticulitis that kept him out for about a year.
He's also,
Yeah,
like
you can't expect him to be the same wrestler he was.
Yeah, he had such a tremendous first step, his
super
quickness.
Explosive, yeah.
And I feel like as a character, Okada has changed. I feel like as a character, he's changed his style of wrestling as well. It's like there's much more attitude to it.
Yeah. It's more character based than
it is.
Than what he was doing in New Japan.
Still good. This is a great match, though.
Oh, it was fantastic. It was lots of fun. Okada got the win. We had some interference here. Callis was ringside, of course. We had Rocky Romero coming out to help Okada, reminiscent of the old Chaos days.
Mm-hmm.
So down towards the finish, and Kota Ibushi was in Kenny's corner, so he helped out too. So Kenny's looking for a V-trigger, connects, looking for a one-winged angel. Okada escapes that, hits the spinning tombstone, a Rainmaker. Kenny kicks out. Okada's looking for another Rainmaker. Kenny escapes, hits Kreutz Wrath. Okada kicks out of that. So Kota Ibushi takes out Rocky Romero as Callis is distracting Omega, but then Kenny hits a Rainmaker V-trigger. One-winged angel. Callis pulls the ref out right at 2 count. So Kenny's, and he stomps him on the back of the head. It was Bryce, I believe. So Kenny's like, come on, another ref, come on down. So Aubrey Edwards runs to the ring. Kenny's looking for a V-trigger, hits it. Looks for a one-winged angel. Okada escapes, hits a Rainmaker. Kenny kicks out. So they're trading shots. Okada hits him right in the gut. Kenny responds with a knee. Okada hits him with a drop kick. Looks for a Rainmaker. Kenny with a roll-up gets a 2, and then we get Okada doing the spinning Emerald Flosion thing, followed with a Rainmaker to get the win.
Yep.
And I did like the references to the previous matches. They did hit the Avalanche Dragon Suplex, although it wasn't right in the back of Okada's neck, thankfully.
Can't be doing that these days.
Kenny did the missile drop kick off the top to the back of Okada again, not to the Okada's head. It was to his upper back.
Yeah.
So I appreciate all the references to their previous matches. That was nice to see.
And notably, Okada left with only the one unified title. He didn't take all the titles with him.
A good idea, because the explanation that, as you know, told to me by you from what you heard about that, sounded like a mess.
I don't even know if it was true.
Yeah, well, why would I doubt you?
You probably should, to be honest.
Yeah.
With you. That led to Texas death. John Moxley, they did this terrific, wonderfully little shot between this and the Toni Storm vignette they did to open her entrance. Mm-hmm. They did some really, really spectacular production work on their, videos.
Yeah.
So Paige got his old theme back, which was awesome, and a really cool short film beforehand. Moxley showed up in a truck with the Death Riders.
It had a green light behind the grill.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool.
Ominous.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
You remember that movie Maximum Overdrive?
Oh, yeah.
With the trucks that became sentient?
You know what's funny? I actually know, like, the VHS cover or the movie poster.
Yeah, because it's got the Green Goblin on the front of the truck.
More than I know the actual... I don't think I've seen the movie. But if you ask me, hey, Maximum Overdrive, yeah, it's one with the trucks.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've ever seen the movie. Is it any good? Is it worth watching?
It's been a long time.
You don't remember if you had a fond memory of it or not?
No, I mean,
just a bunch of trucks going at it.
If I watch it in its totality, it was just the one time.
Okay.
I know I've seen at least a portion of it.
Oh.
I think it was I know. It was the barber shop I used to go to as a kid. They had it on the TV there.
Yeah, you can't deliver a proper assessment on the quality from that.
No.
Killer poster though.
Yeah. Yeah, the box cover was great too.
They don't do that anymore. You know, the box covers suck. Well, they don't even have box cover. I'm talking about.
No, they didn't do
the stream. And these days they change the streaming images all the time, anyways.
Yeah, don't get those iconic images from the box or poster art anymore.
You certainly don't.
So you expect chairs, you got it. Tables, you got them. Barbed wire, yes. Broken glass, of course. Bed of nails, maybe not expected, but you got that nonetheless.
You got that. Handcuffs.
Piece of chain. Wildly overbooked. Let's start. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff here preceding the overbooked stuff. But let's just get to that. Mox was bleeding within the first 2.5 minutes of this match because, hey, that was rough. That might have been, in a lot of respects, the roughest spot. So Hangman has, I think it's kind of like a triangle type deal on Mox.
Yeah.
He's got the fork, and he's just stabbing him in the head. And you see
in
the holes being made in Mox's head and the blood pouring out.
It's like when Punk was under the desk at All In 2 years ago, and he started
Yeah. And so Mox immediately pouring blood. Shortly after that, Hangman's bleeding. Later on, Mox eats a dead eye on a bunch of glass. Oh, and he's just pouring blood all over again.
A lot of blood.
These two dudes were beat up in this match. So Mox has a bulldog choke on Hangman. Mox lets it go because he assumes, that's it, I'm going to win. I think he's even celebrating. Dabbing up Death Riders.
Yeah.
Paige gets up.
There's a couple times when you say Paige gets up, boy, he really
like
stretched
9.99999.
the definition of 10 seconds. Yeah.
So then Mox grabs a chair, hits a paradigm shift on it, sets up the chair. Again, Mox celebrating. Paige gets to his feet right before 10 or at 10. So Mox is throwing an absolute tantrum. So he tells Claudio, get the plastic bag. So Claudio hands it to Yuta. Yuta hands it to Mox. Then we see on the scoreboard of the Tron above the ring, snowy mountaintop. And then we see Darby.
Yeah.
John Moxley. I'll take everything from you. So then that's after that.
Everything.
Bryan Danielson slides the ring, knee plus to Yuta. Takes the Blue Panther mask off. Everybody in the crowd is doing the yes chant. He's taking it to Claudio and Gabe Kidd bunch of yes kicks, hits a suicide dive on them, and that's when Darby repels from the rafters. Mox is distracted by that. Hangman hits him with 2 buckshots while Darby hits a coffin drop on the rest of the Death Riders on the floor. So then Danielson and Darby brawl with the Death Riders up through the crowds. They're not involved the rest of the
Darby ends up on Claudio's back.
Yeah. So then Paige and Mox are on the apron. Paige hits a dead eye through a table nearby. And Marina comes over after going through a table herself, helps Mox up right before the 10 count. Young Bucks come in. They hit Paige with a bunch of super kicks, follow with a EVP trigger. I guess it's a BTE trigger now. Mm-hmm. And that's when Mox and Marina pull out the bed of nails, put that in the ring. Mox hits a curb stomp on the nails, follows with a nasty-looking Death Rider on the spikes. Again, Paige just barely makes it to his feet. So then Mox tells Marina, go get the briefcase. I'm going to hit him with the title. So Marina goes to the timekeeper area, and so she's grabbing the briefcase, and as she tries to leave, she realizes that she's handcuffed. Prince Nana emerges from under the timekeeper table, starts dancing. So Swerve then comes out, take out the Bucks, hits them with some punches with the chain around his fist, and then they're at a moment with him and Hangman. Slides the chain in. Hangman hits Mox with a shot with the chain.
It was great, too, because he slides the chain there, and Hangman gets it, and they're still locking eyes, and Mox comes over. He tries to grab Hangman's head, and it's business.
Yeah.
He immediately turns around, decks him with it, and go ahead with the finish.
And so he tries to choke Mox out over the ropes like he won their first Texas Death Match, but Mox was aware of that, brings Hangman over to the apron with him, but that allows Hangman to hit a buckshot, which sends Mox onto the bed of nails, and then he wraps the chain around his neck again, throws him over the top, chokes him out, and again, hats off to Mox for selling that moment.
Oh, he sold it great. Yeah.
Sold it great.
That was awesome.
Staring death down, has to tap out.
Got to tap out.
And so Swerve just gives a little nod to, or a little, not even a nod, just a little smirk.
He doesn't stick around for the celebration. Nope. He's mission accomplished, turns around, and he leaves.
And I appreciate that they could have had the situation like at WrestleMania 40 where, Swerve, Danielson, Darby.
I'd like to thank Bruce Pritchard.
All get in the ring. Oh, we didn't mention that Ospreay got Pillmanized during this match, too.
Yeah, part of the overbooking. He was the first one to come out.
Yeah, he was.
And pretty immediately got handled by the Death Riders, got Pillmanized, and they brought the stretcher out for him, too.
Brought the stretcher out for him. So
maybe his contract expired and he's ready for the grind of the WWE.
Maybe he's got a Hollywood project in the works. I don't know.
It could be, yeah.
I appreciated that they understood this story was about Hangman's journey. Everybody in the overbooking had their moment, but the celebration had to be Hangman's.
Yeah.
And he got that moment to open up the briefcase and hold that title.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you got to see the outpouring of emotion. He didn't need to be lifted on anybody's shoulders, you know?
Yeah.
One of the closing images of the show is he stood up on the bed of nails and held the title up.
Didn't have to thank Bruce Pritchard either.
No, he didn't have to thank Bruce Pritchard.
Hey,
come on, Bruce, come on down here.
Come on,
I wouldn't
Bruce,
be back here without you.
God damn. All right. I'll come on down. Added value.
Cody, you're going to be booked for the European tour.
So there
Tickets are already sold for it, though, Bruce.
Added value.
Added value.
So yeah, that's your AEW All In review. I can barely talk anymore.
Same. It was hard for me to get through that.
What's the next? I know. What's the next AEW pay-per-view?
Forbidden Door.
Would you like to just hang out with me on my couch for that?
Get some Popeyes again? Yeah.
That's going to be in London. I wonder if it's going to be another early show.
It will be an early show.
Oh, man, you come over at noon, we get some Popeyes or some round table. Well, you don't like pizza. Well, you can't do pizza.
Don't put any cheese on it. I'll get one with no cheese on it.
Yeah, maybe we'll get some pizza.
Sounds good.
Oh, man.
I'm so hungry right now, huh? Anything sounds good. It's been a long day. I've not had a really good meal since it's been 11 o'clock.
Hey, we're going to do an AEW watch along. Longest pay-per-view in history.
Yeah, who'd thunk?
Thanks, Tony. Thanks, appreciate it.
I mean, everybody got their money's worth. We got that great moment at the end.
I love it. I'm not complaining. I thought it was a wonderful pay-per-view, and I'm glad that they give you $50. It's $50, no fucking ads. and just a ton of amazing pro wrestling and a well-paced show. If this was not a well-paced show, we'd be in misery right now.
Yeah.
Instead, we're just hungry and a little tired.
Yeah. And having difficulty speaking because we talk so much.
Exactly. So that's
Like
going to do
7
it.
hours.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll be back on Monday for our Saturday Night's main event and news. Apparently now there's news.
And Evolution as well.
And Evolution as well. So be sure to join us for that. Thanks for watching. Till next time, we'll see you guys around.
Goodbye.